workers. We want to make it universal. We want to give that right to minimum wage universally to all workers. So that is one of the major things we are working towards, and as you know, it's all discussed in the parliament. It is getting, work is done in the parliament, it is happening there, but I'm giving you some of the highlights. Second is also the regional disparity in minimum wage which exists. We are trying to get over that problem, to get over the disparity which prevails by saying if there can be a national floor wage concept which can be accepted by all the states, so that the disparity which prevails between states of minimum wages can be gotten over. We are also talking about compulsorily giving appointment letters for everybody who is taken in, so that it gets formal, and also making sure annual health checkup is made mandatory for all the employees. Benefits also for workers in the interstate migration of workers, so that nowadays we come to know that workers don't get recruited through an agency or a group, which are normally the groups which bring in unskilled workers. Now employers are directly taking them on, and therefore for that also, coming from various destinations, we want to have a definition of interstate migrant workers. Again, on migrant workers, this will help in defining them better and reaching out benefits to them better. All this is in the parliament. I'm not saying it as a part of this package, but I'm only giving you a clear picture that we are committed towards improving the lot of the workers and making sure that migrant workers and other workers are treated a lot more with their formal benefits reaching them. Portability of welfare benefits is also being contemplated in the parliament for migrant workers. Again, looking at pan-India to all districts, we want to extend the ESIC benefits to all establishments which employ at least 10 people or more, and in some of the notified districts. Looking at also employees, establishment which have less than 10 employees, we want to, at least in a voluntary basis, make sure ESIC can be extended to them on a voluntary basis, because they're very small. We don't want to burden them with anything. The other thing that we're looking at is to make it mandatory to have ESIC coverage through notification by the central government for employees who are working in hazardous industries. Because even if they're small and they don't get included through a central notification, we want to make sure ESIC coverage is given to all those who are working in smaller units but which are engaging in hazardous activities. They get the benefit of ESIC coverage. And social security schemes are being extended even to gig workers and platform workers. That is now urban phenomena, and they should get that coverage. So we want to bring gig workers into it. We're also looking at reskilling of retrenched workers. Now in the context of COVID, this was all designed before, but in the context of COVID, we probably will have a situation where a lot of retrenched workers will need to have a reskilling exercise. And again, all occupations should be opened for women with night working rights, and also there making sure safeguards are provided for all of them. Provision also for social security funds for unorganized workers, and gratuity to be given for fixed term employment. So these are some of the things which are our commitment, which is revealed in the labor codes. 44 labor different acts have all been now compressed with extensive discussions and consultation. I must appreciate the Ministry of Labour, the Minister, Senior Minister Gangwarji, together with the Secretary, have engaged with all strata, all stakeholders, all strata of workers, to make sure that their concerns are addressed, and therefore the possibility of having those 44 laws being reduced to 4 codes. Highlights I've given you are waiting in the Parliament. Our commitment lies in having them passed after discussing in all the standing committees.
लेबर कोड के माध्यम से हम लोग जहां मजदूरों को लाभ देने जा रहे हैं, अगर आप देखेंगे तो देश में जो न्यूनतम वेतन है वो लगभग 30% वर्कर्स ही उसका लाभ उठा पाते हैं। समय पर उनका वेतन का भुगतान नहीं हो पाता। अनऑर्गेनाइज जो असंगठित क्षेत्र है उसमें ये दिक्कत है, और इसीलिए यूनिवर्सलाइजेशन की जो बात कही गई है कि न्यूनतम वेतन की यूनिवर्सलाइजेशन की जाएगी, पूरे देश भर में एक जैसा उसका हो, कम से कम एक न्यूनतम वेतन गरीब से गरीब मजदूर को मिले, इसके लिए इस कदम को उठाया गया है। और जो क्षेत्रीय असमानता है, जो रीजनल डिस्पैरिटी है न्यूनतम वेतन में, उसको भी इसके माध्यम से दूर किया जाएगा, वैधानिक रूप इसको दिया जाएगा और नेशनल फ्लोर वेज इसमें इंट्रोड्यूस की जाएगी। यही नहीं, जो इसको तय करने के तरीके हैं मिनिमम वेजेस, उसको और सरलीकरण इसका किया जाएगा ताकि इसमें कंप्लायंस ज़्यादा हो और रुकावटें कम हो। नियुक्ति पत्र भी सभी मजदूरों को मिलेंगे, और यही नहीं, साल में एक बार स्वास्थ्य का चेकअप भी होगा, हेल्थ चेकअप भी इनका होगा। और जो खतरनाक क्षेत्र में काम करने वाले, जहां खतरा रहता है, ऐसे क्षेत्रों में काम करने वाले जिनके काम करते हैं मजदूर, उनके लिए ऑक्यूपेशनल सेफ्टी एंड हेल्थ कोड भी लाया जाएगा जो उनकी सुरक्षा और स्वास्थ्य का ख्याल रखेंगे। यही नहीं, पोर्टेबिलिटी जो है वेलफेयर बेनिफिट्स की, ये भी सभी प्रवासी मजदूरों को मिलेगी। और ईएसआईसी का लाभ भी, इसका भी पैन इंडिया पूरे देश भर में इसकी कवरेज सभी जिलों में हमारे मजदूरों को मिल पाएगी। चाहे वो इस्टेब्लिशमेंट जो संस्थान है वो 10 से ज़्यादा वाला है, उतने तक का है। और इसके अलावा मैंडेटरी ईएसआईसी कवरेज भी नोटिफिकेशन से माध्यम से सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने सभी एम्प्लॉयज़ को, जो ऐसे खतरनाक क्षेत्रों में काम करने वाले, उनके लिए होगी। सोशल सिक्योरिटी स्कीम भी गिग वर्कर्स के लिए और प्लेटफॉर्म वर्कर्स के लिए मिलेगी। रीस्किलिंग करनी बहुत ज़रूरी हो गई है, क्योंकि जो लोग वापस गए हैं काम करने के लिए, उनको वापस उनको स्किल प्रदान करके वहाँ पर उनका कैसे लाभ मिल सके, रोजगार मिल सके, इस दिशा में भी काम किए जाएंगे। और सोशल सिक्योरिटी फंड का भी असंगठित क्षेत्र के लिए प्रावधान करने का हम प्रयास करेंगे, प्रोविजन किया जाएगा। और जो महिलाओं के लिए कामकाज के क्षेत्र खुले हैं, उसमें रात्रि के समय अगर काम करना पड़ता है, ड्यूटी करनी पड़ती है, तो उसमें सेफगार्ड्स अलग अलग तरह के लाए जाएंगे।
Quickly of yesterday's, you know, we've spoken about 3 lakh crore emergency working capital facility. We have also spoken about no global tenders for 200 crore, up to 200 crore for Indian, small companies also to bid for those, and so on. So yesterday's announcement, I thought I'll very quickly give you. I will be providing this one slide. I'm spending not very much of a time on that. I'll move over to talking about one thing there. If you can please go back to the previous slide. One thing there on the tax deduction at source and tax collected at source, where we've reduced the rate by 25%. I will, after the presentation, have Revenue Secretary give you a clear explanation of who it includes and who it doesn't. So the TDS and TCS explanation, you have the Finance Secretary next to me, who is also the Revenue Secretary, who will be able to explain it. But otherwise, that slide will be given to you. So instead of going too much into detail, I just want to highlight the fact the EPF support of paying 24%, the 12% of employer, 12% of the employee is borne by the Government of India. 24% is being borne by the Government of India for the past 3 months, and we have extended that for the next 3 months also. June, July, August is also getting added. This is something which I did mention yesterday. And similarly for others, it has been reduced from 12 to 10% for the employer and the employee. However, the employee will get the 10% for the private, for the government-related public sector undertakings, where the government pays the 12 plus 12.
पिछले कल जो सूक्ष्म लघु और मध्यम उद्योग के लिए घोषणा की गई थी, उसका बड़ा कारण ये भी है, और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने अपने 12 तारीख के भाषण में कहा भी था कि हमारे लघु मंझोले उद्योग जो हैं, ये जो हमारे एमएसएमई हैं, ये करोड़ों लोगों की आजीविका का साधन है, जो आत्मनिर्भर भारत के लिए हमारे संकल्प का मजबूत आधार है। और इसीलिए पिछले कल लाखों करोड़ रुपए का जो बेनिफिट दिए गए, मैं कहूँगा सहयोग दिया गया। इन लोगों ने कभी मदद नहीं मांगी, सहयोग मांगा, और सहयोग देने का काम कल भारत सरकार ने मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में किया है एमएसएमई सेक्टर के लिए। और उसमें ही एक बड़ा सहयोग था, मार्च अप्रैल मई महीने में एम्प्लॉय प्रोविडेंट फंड 12% एम्प्लॉय और एम्प्लॉयर का हिस्सा भारत सरकार दे रही है, और अब इसको अगले 3 महीने जून जुलाई अगस्त तक और बढ़ा दिया गया है। इसके अलावा जो 12% दोनों को देना पड़ता था काम देने वाले को, अब उसको 10% कर दिया गया है। लेकिन जो भारत सरकार के सेंट्रल पीएससीज हैं वो अपना 12% ही देंगे।
I go over to today's announcements. I said there are three steps that we want to explain about the migrants. The first thing relates to free food grain. Free food grain supply to all migrants for the next 2 months. How is this? You are aware, we had already announced that for the public distribution system based, card based people who get their regular quota of rice or wheat and in their residences, we had added free 35 kgs for them, either of rice or wheat, and also said 5 kgs per individual, but per card 1 kg of pulse was announced earlier, and that additional 5 per month kg of wheat or rice was being given free. That was made clear. Now what we are saying is that continues, that remains intact. But for those who are non-card holders, meaning they are neither under the National Food Security Act, nor are they holders of any state level cards, for them they shall be given 5 kgs per person of wheat or rice, or 1 kg of chana, so that is for per family. And if the person is remaining without card, he can also get it. We are engaging with the state governments to make sure that they know where these migrants are, they can approach them and give them, because most of these migrants who have no cards are staying in those camps which are being run either by the government or by the NGOs, and therefore based on a rough assessment which has been given to us by all the state governments, we think there are about 8 crore migrants for whom benefit will reach through this free food grain supply. The central government will take the cost and they will not be charged. 3,500 crores will be spent on this intervention within the next 2 months. So I know migrants are also moving out, either they are going back, very few are coming back. Irrespective, we are saying for the next 2 months, they shall get free rice or wheat and also 1 kg per card, per family. Without card also, you can get your rice, wheat or wheat or chana. So this will reach through the state governments. State governments will be implementing agencies. They will identify the migrants. They will take care of the full distribution and they will provide the details. The initial assessment is what I've told you. The numbers may change depending on how the state governments are going to. We made provision for this many. That's exactly what I want to convey.
प्रवासी मजदूर जो भारत और मैं कहूँगा राष्ट्र निर्माण में लगे हैं, उनके लिए राशन की सुविधा उपलब्ध करवाने के लिए ऐसे 8 करोड़ प्रवासी मजदूरों के लिए 3500 करोड़ रुपए का प्रावधान मोदी सरकार करवाने जा रही है। जो नेशनल फूड सिक्योरिटी एक्ट में नहीं आते या जिनको राज्यों का राशन कार्ड नहीं मिल पाता या उसकी बेनिफिशियरीज लिस्ट में नहीं है, वो भी इससे वंचित ना रह जाएं। ऐसे 8 करोड़ प्रवासी मजदूरों के लिए 3500 करोड़ रुपए का प्रावधान, यानी कि उनको 5-5 किलो गेहूं या चावल मिलेंगे और साथ में 1 किलो चना, प्रति फैमिली 1 किलो चना और प्रति व्यक्ति 5 किलो गेहूं और चावल भी अगले 2 महीनों तक मिलते रहेंगे। इसके लिए मोदी सरकार 3500 करोड़ रुपए का प्रावधान कर रही है। इसको लागू करने की जिम्मेदारी राज्य सरकारों की है।
The next point is, I go back to referring to the Prime Minister's address to the nation, where he said 5 pillars, and one of them is talking about technology-driven systems. This is one classic example for that, where in order to benefit migrant workers, we are coming up with a national portability of the cards, which is public distribution ration cards can be used in any ration card, any ration shop in any part of the country as you move along. So if there is a ration card holder, today he is in Bihar or Karnataka, tomorrow he moves to Rajasthan, he can take his food ration from any ration shop in that state. So national portability, which is now being defined as one nation, one ration card. One nation, one ration card will be implemented, and by August 2020, which is another 3 months, within 3 months, 67 crore beneficiaries in 23 states, which means the 67 crore beneficiary is 83% of all the PDS population that we are talking about. 83% of all the PDS population will get covered by this one nation, one ration card. And we assure 100% coverage of national portability of these cards by March 2021. 83% is already done. So all the states and union territories will complete full FPS automation by March 2021.
आज के समय में अगर देखा जाए तो जो प्रवासी मजदूर था उसको सबसे बड़ा संकट आया, लेकिन टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से आने वाले समय में उनको कभी भगवान ना करे कोविड-19 जैसी स्थिति ना आए, लेकिन अगर कुछ भी होता है, स्थिति ना भी आए, वैसे भी चले, तब भी वो देश के किसी कोने में हो, वो कहीं पर भी अपने राशन कार्ड का इस्तेमाल कर सकें। वन नेशन वन राशन कार्ड, ये योजना हम लाने वाले हैं और इसके माध्यम से आप देश के किसी कोने में भी किसी भी उचित मूल्य की दुकान से अपना राशन ले सकते हैं, जिसको हम डिपो भी कहते हैं, राशन डिपो भी कहते हैं, ताकि राशन वितरण प्रणाली से जो आपके हिस्से का आप उसको ले पाएँ। और इसका अगर देखा जाए तो आज तक टेक्नोलॉजी के उपयोग से, चाहे वो जनधन खाते हो, आधार नंबर हो, मोबाइल हो, इसके माध्यम से पारदर्शिता मोदी सरकार लेकर आई और लाखों करोड़ पिछले कुछ वर्षों में बचाया भी है और वापस गरीबों के उत्थान के लिए लगाया। तो इससे भी जहां गरीब को लाभ मिलेगा देश के किसी कोने में राशन लेने के लिए, वहीं पर देखा जाए तो 23 राज्यों में 67 करोड़ बेनिफिशियरी जो हैं वो 83% पीडीएस की पॉपुलेशन वो अब तक इस पे कवर हो चुकी है और मार्च 2021 तक हम 100% उसको कवर कर लेंगे नेशनल पोर्टेबिलिटी में, ताकि वो देश के किसी कोने में जाकर भी अपने राशन कार्ड का इस्तेमाल कर सकें। ये अपने आप में क्रांतिकारी कदम गरीब मजदूर, प्रवासी मजदूर के लिए होगा कि वो देश के किसी भी कोने में जाकर अपने हक का राशन किसी भी राशन डिपो से ले सकता है, ऐसा उसके लिए सुविधा होगी।
The last step for the migrant workers, we spoke about their food, their ration, portability of their ration. Now I'm talking about affordable rental accommodation for the migrant workers or the urban poor. Government has plans to launch, and very quickly it shall launch under the PM Awas Yojana for the migrant labor and urban poor, a particular scheme of affordable rental housing scheme, whereby we have 3 different ways in which we want to achieve it. We are asking incentivizing manufacturing units, industries, institutions and associations to, on their private land, build and develop affordable rental housing complexes. And we are also converting a lot of government funded housings in major cities which are remaining vacant into affordable rental housing accommodation. They can become affordable rental housing complexes, and this shall be done on a PPP mode through concessionaire agreements. through which they can invest somewhat, some money to keep it up, and also somewhat some money to make it ready, and then derive the rental, like the way the roads have, the toll little collections. Similarly, here they can collect small amount of rent and make some arrangement. Incentivizing also state governments to do the same. Central government organizations will also undertake in similar lines. The detailed guidelines will come from the ministry sooner. So urban migrants, urban poor now can look forward to having at least some basic rental accommodation for themselves.
प्रवासी मजदूर और शहरी गरीब के लिए जहां वो काम करते हैं शहरों में, वहां पर कम कीमत पर उनको किराए पर मकान मिल पाए, रहने की सुविधा मिल पाए, इस बड़ी योजना का संकल्प लेकर मोदी जी आए हैं। और मेरा मानना है कि जिस तरह से हर घर को बिजली, हर गांव तक बिजली पहुंचाने का काम, हर व्यक्ति का बैंक खाता खोलने का काम, हर बहन को गैस सिलेंडर देने का काम, और 2022 तक हर गरीब को सर ढकने के लिए छत देने का काम मोदी सरकार करने वाली है, उसी तरह से एक बहुत बड़ी योजना ये भी है कि कम कीमत वाले कम किराए वाले ऐसे घर आने वाले समय में मिलेंगे, और जिसका प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना के अंतर्गत इस योजना को लाया जाएगा, जो कि हमारे अब के बने हुए घरों को भी उसमें इंक्लूड कर सकती है, जो सरकार के अभी बने और कुछ जगह खाली होंगे। उद्योगपति अपनी ज़मीन पर बनाना चाहें तो उनको भी इंसेंटिवाइज करके करेंगे, ताकि वो भी अपने काम करने वाली मजदूरों के लिए अपनी फैक्ट्री या उसके आसपास रहने की व्यवस्था बनाएं, या राज्य की सरकारों को, उनकी एजेंसियों को हम लोग प्रेरित करेंगे, लाभ देंगे, ताकि वो भी अपने राज्य में काम करने वाले ऐसे मजदूरों के लिए सुविधाएं तैयार करके दें।
I move over to the Sishu loans of Mudra. This is a way in which we are going to help the smallest of small credit takers from the banks, where after the RBI giving 3 months moratorium, when they come back to have to pay the interest, the EMI, they will have a little problem, and we want to support them with some interest subvention. Incentive being, if you pay in time promptly, you get the 2% incentive, interest subvention incentive. So the current portfolio of Mudra Sishu loans, Mudra has 3 different types of loans. The Sishu is up to 50,000 is what they take as loan, only 50,000 rupees or less. People who have taken loans 50,000 or lesser, after the 3-month moratorium, when they come back to paying the EMIs, will have for the next 12 months an interest subvention support which will be of 2%, and that support will entail a total relief of 1,500 crores, which is for all the Sishu loan holders. Now, I just want to give you a broad indication of number. I don't think it's possible for me to straight away tell you the exact number, but I can indicate to you, because up to 50,000 will mean some people will have 10,000, some might have 15,000, some others might have 20. So actually, to get the actual number of beneficiaries, I might need a little more time, but roughly, if this outstanding is 1.62 lakh crores, if the total outstanding of Sishu loans under the Mudra category is 1.62 lakh crores, and on the assumption that all of them have taken 50,000, the maximum limit, it will be something like 3 crore, more than 3 crore people. And therefore, if this 3 crore is a conservative estimate, it can be slightly more than that. It will benefit, this 2% interest subvention will benefit about 3 crore people who are beneficiaries of the Mudra Sishu loan. I'm not talking of all the 3 categories, only the Sishu category, which means 50,000 or less loans.
जो मुद्रा शिशु ऋण श्रेणी